This is a ready-to-move apartment. You can pay 1 crore rupees, buy this home and move in today. And the same builder has built the same apartment over here under construction. You'll have to wait, but because there is a wait, you can buy this for slightly less. Let's say 80 lakh rupees. We have an Excel sheet to tell you exactly which is the financially more smarter choice. First, we'll begin with this survey. According to Knight Frank 2025, most people actually like buying this, the under construction property, because, well, the under construction property costs slightly less and people don't mind waiting. And that amount is called the base agreement value. I'll assume it's 80 lakhs. Then you put in the stamp duty, which will automatically be calculated. In this case, it's about 2.4 lakh rupees. And then I'll add registration rate, that's 2%. Now this changes from state to state. Everyone has different rules. To find out what the rate is in your state and enter that. And this will automatically be calculated, 1.6 lakhs. Then there's a GST rate. GST rate? Exactly. So when you're buying an under construction property, because it's still being constructed, there is a GST involved. And you'll see that that is 4 lakhs. Of course, if you buy a residential property that's already constructed, usme GST nahi hai. Here we have then TDS, which is 80,000 rupees. Anything above 50 lakh rupees attracts a TDS. And this is deposited with the government. Obviously, when you file your taxes, that amount will be adjusted. Then comes legal and brokerage fees. This is painful if you feel your broker has not worked a lot. If he worked a lot, then worth it. Now, brokerage fees, of course, depends on how you negotiate, but I'll assume it's about 1% of the total value. And I'll also assume another 20,000 in paperwork, bhag-dod fees, all of that. Let's assume this is 80,000 rupees. That's 1% of 80 lakhs. And another 20,000 rupees, so 1 lakh rupees. Now, the next section on the Excel sheet is financing and cash flow. This is what makes or breaks your decision to buy a home. So first, I'll put loan amount. I'm assuming 80 lakhs ka hai, so there'll be some down payment and there'll be some loan. So 64 lakhs. The interest rate is 9%. Please change it according to who you are. Then a monthly interest rate is calculated. This is simply 9% divided by 12. It's auto done. And months till possession. This is very important. When you go to your broker / your builder, he will make a promise. The promise will be, this house will be yours in 2 years. Guaranteed, madam, guaranteed. So whatever he promised you and said 2 years mein ho jayega, you put those months here. Sometimes it can be early, sometimes it can be late, but I think it's mostly late. But let's assume it's 24 months and I'll add that 24 months till possession over here. And then starts your monthly pre-EMI. Now this EMI, pre-EMI thing is honestly a little confusing. Basically, when a bank gives a home loan, it offers 2 repayment methods, pre-EMI and full EMI. Pre-EMI is usually for under construction properties. Only the interest on the disbursed amount or loan amount is paid, whereas the full EMI or normal EMI can be applied to both under construction and ready to move in homes. And in this case, full EMI amount is paid. Let's move forward. We can see that the total pre-EMI cost is 11.52, and then there's monthly rent. Pucho kyun? Pucho kyun? Why is there monthly rent? Monthly rent because your house is under construction. You will stay somewhere. And I'm assuming you're not staying in a self-occupied, owned home right now. You're staying in a rented place. Correct? So I'll assume that you're paying a rent of 25,000. So rent paid during construction, I've assumed is 6 lakh rupees. Next, we have builder and project charges. Advanced maintenance. This is a one-time building maintenance fund, 1 lakh rupees. Parking charges, 1 lakh. I know a bunch of you guys will not agree because I've seen people pay 5 lakhs also for parking, but I'll assume it's 1. Then we have club and amenities, another lakh, and utility setup, 1 lakh. If you don't know these numbers, call up a builder and say, bhai, kitna? Batao, exact. Take it in writing and put it in the Excel sheet. When you're doing a comparison, you have to add all the costs. So when you compare, you know which is more financially sensible. So do not miss this step. And then we'll move on to my favorite part, interior and setup. The problem with buying a home is that you're so proud and in love with it that you want to get the best damn interiors possible. So I have added over here just 3 lakh rupees for interior, and I don't think this is true at all. I think you will spend way more. And my friends tell me कि भाई घर तो घड़ा है, वैसे डालते जाओ खत्म नहीं होता. Translation, you keep spending and you will feel like you need to spend more. But it's okay. If you have a crazy story of spending more than 3 or 5 lakh rupees, tell us, please. I'd love to know. Now we're going to add all of this up to find the cost of the under construction property. It's a grand total of... नहीं बताऊंगा. ऐसे कैसे? First, we'll calculate the math of the ready-to-move property. Then we'll figure out who wins. Okay, so we'll start with the base agreement value. This is 1 crore, right? So you are paying 20 lakhs more of the same apartment because it's ready to move. The risk is lower, so it makes sense. Now, 20% is not standard. I've assumed it. Please change it according to what you think is fit. Then we'll add stamp duty. Remember, for stamp duty, this changes per state and also if it's a male or a female. Over here, you can see that women are encouraged to buy homes or have homes in their names because the stamp duty is in their favor and is lower. So very nice. And we can see there's a registration rate. I'll add 2% over here, changes by state. And then we have a GST rate of 0 because this is not under construction. So that's gone. And then there's a TDS, which is 1% of your base value if it's above 50 lakhs. In this case, the home is 1 crore rupees. So 1 lakh rupees is TDS. And then you have legal and brokerage fees. Legal and brokerage fees of 1.2 lakh rupees. I know what you're thinking. You already thought that one of these have won. Not true, because you missed something. I'll tell you later. So in the financing and cash flow, the loan amount over here is 80 lakh rupees. Then let's add the annual interest rate over here is 9%. Loan tenure, this really matters. This is in months. So over here it says 240 and you will get a monthly EMI. Does the EMI start immediately? Since it's ready to move, I assume once you've executed this, the EMI is immediately payable. So I'll put this as true. Rent saved. What is this? What is this? It is the rent saved. Remember, in under construction property, if we are comparing, we assume that we are staying at rent somewhere before we move there. Now, if you're buying a home immediately, that amount is technically saved. The total EMI paid to the bank and the total rent saved will be calculated. And this becomes now an interesting way to compare ready to move and under construction. We have builder project charges. This is exactly as we did before. And then interior setup, copy the paste. And this brings us to our total grand cost for RTM at 1 crore 25 lakhs. And for under construction, 1 crore 14 lakhs, which means under construction wins by 11 lakh rupees. Wait, I'm not done yet. The thing that you missed and why under construction doesn't really win by 11 lakhs, let me answer both these questions. First, let's go to the first sheet. And over here, you see months till possession, 24. This was the clue. Now, let me change these 24 months till possession to 48 months. We can see that this becomes 1.31 crores. And ready to move wins by 6 lakhs. Just because the under construction home was delayed by 2 years more than expected. And notice with under construction property, agar ye possession mila hi nahi, or the possession becomes too late, you're actually losing money. Now let me go back and change this back to 24. Now there's another variable. Instead of taking a 80% loan, let's suppose loan is only 50%. Now let's see what happens. Suddenly, under construction wins by 15.5 lakh rupees. You think the under construction option is cheaper by 11 lakh rupees. But actually, that's not the case. The real winner will change as soon as you change any variables here. And that is unique to everyone. On the internet, I saw this random clip.
शाहरुख सर ने एक बात सिखाई थी मुझे. He said, बेटा कभी भी घर लेना ना, तो औकात से थोड़ा ज्यादा लेना. क्योंकि क्या है, फिर ना ऊपर वाला भी देखता है और तू खुद भी ज्यादा मेहनत करेगा. हाँ. यार ये है. Correct. Which I found so fascinating.
This is terrible advice. If this is true, you can't buy something that you can't afford. He is Shah Rukh Khan and he is Rajkumar Rao. They'll do this and earn an extra 10 crore rupees. They are legends in their industry and we are normal people. No one who's bought a house under loan says, ये इस बैंक का घर है, मैं रह रहा हूँ. 20 साल का loan है. No one says this. They always say, this is my home. It's an emotional purchase, which also means if there is some trouble in the future, you will have to compromise because you will not sell the home. So do not overextend. Stay in the 10, 20, 30% EMI range for your home. And if you can't afford it right now, that's okay. इतनी क्या जल्दी है? बहुत लंबी जिंदगी है. Don't put undue pressure on yourself. I hope I solved this debate for you. Discuss it at home. Tell me your stories in the comments. See you in the next video.